I come from what most people would class like a broken home. My mom was an alcoholic and she didn't know who my father was. She could only tell me that he was one of 8 guys with her at a party one weekend. It bothered me that I never knew my dad, but there was nothing I could do about it. What I could do was try to avoid being like my mother, and I actually strived to be a nice girl. Yet, as I got older, I became more like her. I began to flirt and tease a lot of the boys in school, and even some of the staff. I enjoyed knowing that they checked me out and that many of them would have cheated on their girlfriends if I'd given them a chance. My first time was with the boyfriend of my best friend. He said he loved me and wanted me more than my friend. I fell for it, and then he admitted he wasn't going to give up my friend for me. I got him back by secretly recording our last time together and showing it to my friend. She obviously didn't blame me for the affair because she broke up with him, and then seduced me. After being deceived by him, I decided that being a nice girl only got me used, so I would start using other people instead. I left school with top marks, many of which I earned on my back. I started college in a similar manner. I was thrilled that even guys with hot girlfriends would betray them to be with me. Thinking about what I'd done, I recognized I was becoming like my mother. I calmed down, not going out every weekend, sometimes missing 3 on the trot. I still flirted and teased, but nowhere near as much. When I stopped, I realized that there were some great people around me and I began to get along with them. A lass called Christina became a great friend. I cannot lie, though, I did fancy her boyfriend, Charlie, one of the hottest guys I'd ever met. Let's just say, if he asked me for it, I didn't think I'd refuse. The more time I spent with Christina and Charlie, the more I realized that I wanted their kind of relationship. I wanted a boyfriend who'd love me and spend his time with me. If I was going to be as happy as my friends, I knew I had to stop all things. Then I met Logan. He was 3 years older than an amazing guy and me. I liked him a lot, but he was in the process of getting divorced and I knew I shouldn't get involved until that was final. But, you guessed, I couldn't help myself and we started dating. At first, everything was great, but, out of the blue, he told me that he was going back to his wife. I was heartbroken. Logan phoned occasionally, but I kept my distance. I didn't want to make another mistake. He told me that he wanted to be friends, nothing more, but I wasn't falling for that line. I stopped seeing him altogether. Coming up to my 22th birthday, I arranged to meet Christina to help me shop for a party dress. I wanted something sexy, but not over the top, and Christina had always been great at steering me toward the right choice. In the town's underground car park, I saw Charlie arrive in his Aston Martin DB9. Christina got out of the car and we hugged. "Thanks for coming, Christina, I know you haven't been feeling that well lately." "I wasn't feeling too bad this morning," she said, smiling. "Well, that's good, but you do look a little pale." "Yes, I know. Anyway, I've got an appointment to see the doctor tomorrow." That's when I heard Charlie say, "Okay Christina, just give me a call when you're ready to be picked up." I leaned to look inside his car. "Are you not coming shopping with us, Charlie?" He shook his head. "I know what it's like when you two shop. I'm not spending the whole day walking all over town." "Arg, that's a shame. So, what are you going to do for the rest of the day?" "I'm going to help out around Alice's house." "Really, again? You seem to have been over there a lot in the last couple of weeks." "Well, as Christina and I are not working, I do some tasks around her house and she lowers the rent. You know I'm trying to save money for our wedding and everything else, so anything I can do to lower the rent has to do, I'm afraid." Maybe you should think about getting a part-time job." Charlie shrugged. "Basically, doing these odd jobs for our landlady is a part-time job." "I suppose it is." I smiled at him. "Well, guess I'll see you sometime." "Yeah, if not before, I'll see you at your party." Christina had walked around to the driver's side and Charlie looked at her and said, "Phone when you're ready." Christina bent to kiss Charlie's lips. "I will do." Although I thought it was a lovely scene, I was also a little jealous. I wished I was kissing Charlie and that I was the one dating him. If I hadn't been good friends with Christina, I would have definitely tried to seduce him. "And there he goes again," Christina said, walking back to me as Charlie drove off. "As you rightly said, he's been spending a lot of time over at Alice's house." "Well, yes. But he's doing it to help out with the rent, saving some money, right?" "I do know why he is doing it, Carla. But, all the same, I've not seen him much recently because of his studies at college and being over at Alice's a couple of times a week." I put an arm around her. "Look, I'm sure it isn't easy for him either, but he's doing what's needed to keep the roof over your heads. I wish I had a guy willing to do all that for me." Christina smiled and said, "Keep your chin up, Carla, you will find someone, I'm sure of that. But right now, let's find you a dress for your birthday party. Who knows, maybe you will meet Mr. Right there." "Thanks, Christina, you always know just what to say to make me feel better. I think that's why we're great friends." "Well, that and you have great taste." "Well, thank you, you are too kind." We went to the main shopping area and I have to admit Charlie wasn't wrong about our shopping style. We must have gone into over a dozen different stores looking for my perfect dress before we finally found it. When Christina saw me in it, she said, "I don't know, Carla, it's rather short." "Oh, come on, Christina," I said, trying to convince her that I should buy it. "I know it's short, but I love the color and the design. It is my birthday and, as you've said, if I want to meet Mr. Right, I do need to show off a little." Okay, since it's for your party, then fine." I paid for both sets and we walked down the road to a bar. Inside, we examined the menu and Christina said, "I'm going to have the chicken tikka masala and you order whatever you want, it's on me." "Are you sure? I mean, you're trying to save money. Buying lunch for a friend will not break the bank. Besides, you did buy me those." I selected the New Yorker and Christina placed our order at the bar. "It'll be about 10 minutes, she said, sitting again at our table. "Cool, not long to wait." I looked into her eyes and said, "You know, I think you're so lucky to have met Charlie. He's such a great guy, always there for you no matter what. I hope one day I will find a guy like him." "Ah, thank you, Carla. You will find someone just as good for yourself. It might take time, but you will." "I don't know." I shook my head. "I thought I had it with Logan and we know how that turned out. He was a loser, Carla. I mean, I can't believe that he asked you to be his bit on the side. As if you would be okay with that." To be honest, Christina, I did think about it." "Oh my God, really?" Christina looked genuinely shocked. I nodded. "Stupid, I know, but I didn't want to be alone." Christina grasped my hand. "You're not alone, Carla. Anytime you feel like that, all you have to do is call me and I will be there for you. I promise." "Thank you. You have been one of a friend for a start," I said, smiling and gripping her arm. "If I ever needed you, I know you would be there for me, no questions asked." I let go of Christina's arm as the waiter arrived with our food. He smiled and asked, "Would either of you lovely ladies like anything else?" I smiled back at him. "A Coke, please." "Just water for me, thank you," said Christina and watched him walk away. Kind of cute. Why don't you ask him to be your date at your birthday party?" "No way," I laughed. "Yes, he looks cute, but I'm looking for Mr. Right. Not Mr. Right now." Christina chortled. "Okay, fair enough." After the waiter delivered our drinks, we ate and chatted about the party details. I was shocked when I looked at my phone and saw it was almost 5. At that moment, Christina got a call from Charlie and she arranged to meet him at the car park in 20 minutes. Christina paid the bill and we walked to the car park. 10 minutes later, Charlie arrived, and I put Christina's bag in the boot. I then knocked on the driver's window and Charlie put it down. "Sorry," I said, We lost track of time. It's fine, Carla. I was busy myself and didn't realize it was so late. I'd offer you a lift but, as you know, it's only a two-seater. Don't worry, I can get the bus. Have a lovely night and, if I don't see you before, I will see you on Saturday at my party. I then looked at Christina and said, try that thing out tonight. You won't be sorry. Christina blushed and said, see you later. I waved them off before getting the bus home. I put away my new dress before cleaning the flat and settling down for the night. Watching a movie on Netflix, I got a message from Christina thanking me for the gift and saying what a great night she'd had because of them. I replied that I was happy she was having a good time, but I couldn't tell her that I was feeling guilty. The fact was I still wanted Charlie. I'd always insisted I wouldn't do anything unless Charlie started it, but I knew even that would be wrong. About 11, I got into bed. On the Saturday of my party, I went to make the final payment for the hire of the bar's events room. I'll be honest, the only reason I could afford the room was that I'd with the owner a couple of times and he offered it to me at a huge discount. I walked into the bar and saw the owner. Hello Lee, just here to make the final payment for the room. The bar is fully stocked, right? Yes, everything is ready for you, don't worry. He gave me a huge grin. If you want to save some more money, you know we could go upstairs. No thanks, Lee. I told you, I'm not that kind of girl anymore. I'll be paying with my debit card. Lee looked disappointed. Your choice. See you tonight. From there, I went to my mom's and she gave me my birthday presents and we had lunch. I got home about 3 hours before I was due at the bar. I thought it was weird that I hadn't heard from Christina but figured she must be busy and, anyway, I would see her that night. A little after 5:30, I decided it was time to get ready. After showering and dressing, I phoned for a taxi and looked at myself in the mirror. Yes, I thought. Looking good. Any guy I want tonight should be mine, no problem. The taxi dropped me off a few minutes after 7 and I was shocked that the room was already full. When I walked in everyone cheered. I loved that they were so happy to see me and made a huge fuss. I walked around to greet my friends, but I couldn't see Christina. I checked my phone, no messages, and went outside to phone her, but got no reply. Then I saw Charlie get out of a taxi and I walked over to meet Christina. But she wasn't with him. Hello Charlie, I said, where's Christina? I'm sorry, Carla, but she isn't coming. She sent me to tell you in person. What's wrong? You know she hasn't been feeling very well lately. Well, it turns out that she has anemia. Oh God, is she going to be okay? Charlie nodded. She will be fine. But, until she has the baby, she'll be exhausted and weak. She's taking time off from college until she's had the baby. Oh, okay. I was truly stunned, not expecting such news. Well, please let her know if she needs anything, she just has to call. Christina knows that, she's just disappointed that she couldn't be here tonight. That's why she sent me, so you wouldn't think she didn't care. I smiled at Charlie. I'm glad you came, but I understand if you want to duck out early. Fine, thanks, but now let's get a drink, birthday girl. Charlie put an arm around me and we walked to the bar. I was upset that Christina couldn't make it, but it was a fantastic night and I had a great time with my friends. About 11, Logan showed up and he walked over to kiss my cheek. Happy birthday, Carla, he smiled. I shook my head. What are you doing here? I came to wish my girl happy birthday. Look, Logan, you made your choice when you decided to go back to your wife. I don't want anything to do with you. Please, leave me alone. Logan stepped closer. Oh, come on now, don't be like that. He took me into his arms. I did try to tell you. I only went back to her because of how much I would lose if I didn't. Logan then pecked me on the lips and said, you know you're the one I want to be with, Carla. I pushed him away and said, I don't care what you want, Logan. I don't want to be with you. Now, I've asked you nicely, so, please leave. That's when Charlie stepped in. Okay, mate, the lady has asked you to leave and I think you should do as she asked. Logan looked annoyed. What does this have to do with you? Charlie stepped closer to Logan. I'm her friend. She asked you to leave and now I am telling you, get out before someone gets hurt, and it won't be me. Oh, wow, sir, big man doling out threats, said Logan. Well, I don't want to wreck your night, Carla, so I will leave. But I am telling you, Mr. Big Shot, watch your back. Logan walked out, acting like a big man. But Logan had never been a fighter and Charlie would probably have wiped the floor with him. Logan was just acting like a hard man to save face. Charlie turned around to me. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine, thank you. But you shouldn't have gotten involved. Well, I hate guys that will not take no for an answer. I briefly hugged Charlie then said, I'm worried he might try something to get back at you. Don't worry, Carla. He'll be the one in trouble if he tries to attack me. You really are a great friend, Charlie. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. Thank you. I'm glad we're friends, too. Now, is there anything else I can do for you before I go home to check on Christina? Charlie finished his drink. No, I'm fine thanks, Charlie. Charlie hugged me, kissed me on the cheek, and said, you carry on having a lovely night and I will see you soon. I watched him walk out of the bar and, although I'd planned on not going home until 2 or 3, I didn't feel in a party mood anymore. Logan had spoiled things. Seeing him again had brought up a lot of old feelings and I decided to finish my drink and duck out the back way. I grabbed my coat and slipped out of the back door into the alley. I phoned for a taxi and then heard, hey, you alone at last? Startled, I spun around and saw Logan. Good God, you scared the hell out of me. Why are you still here? Come on, Carla, you didn't really think I was going to leave you just like that, did you? He said, shoving me back against a wall. Stop it, Logan, I said, failing to push him away. I've already told you, I'm not interested. We both know you don't mean that, he said, pressing against me. You always let me have my way with you. No, Logan, stop it, I shouted, struggling but unable to get free. Stop playing hard to get, we both know you want it, he said. No. Stop. I screamed. Someone help me. Seemingly out of nowhere, Charlie appeared. Grabbing Logan from behind, he turned him around and slammed him against the opposite wall. He gripped Logan's throat and said, what do you think you're doing, you arsehole? Pinned to the wall, Logan gasped, get off, Arg, get off me. Why should I? You think you can do what you want and get away with it? Well, let's see what happens when you're the one under attack, Charlie snarled, bringing up a knee into Logan's groin and then punching him in the face. Logan slumped to the floor, pleading, no, stop, please, stop. Oh, really, please stop. Why should I? When Carla said that you didn't stop, did you? Charlie punched Logan again. No, please. Logan started blubbing. I should have stopped. I promise I'll stay away from her. Oh, you think that's good enough? I wonder what your wife would think if she found out what you did here. Maybe we should call her and find out. No, please don't do that. I'll do anything you want. Charlie lifted Logan and shoved him against the wall again. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to Carla what happens next. Charlie turned to look at me. What should I do with him? I slowly shook my head. Just let him go, Charlie. He isn't worth it. Logan, blood oozing from his lip, mumbled, you hurt her. She said to let me go. Yes, she did. Charlie glared at Logan for a moment. But I'm telling you now, if I hear of you even walking past her in the street, I'm going to come after you. Next time, she won't be around to save you. Now get out. Charlie slammed Logan against the wall one more time before letting him go. Logan took off and we watched him stumbling down the alley and out of sight. Charlie came to me and asked, "Are you okay?" I pulled him close, rested my head on his chest, and said, "Thank God you came along when you did. It's okay. You're going to be just fine." I felt his hand comforting me, calming me. I was shaking, my legs trembling, and Charlie supported me on our walk out of the alley. I saw my waiting taxi and Charlie got in with me, told the driver my address, and held me in his arms all the way to my place. Inside, Charlie said, "You get yourself cleaned up and I'll make you a nice cup of tea." I simply nodded and walked into my bathroom, closing the door behind me. Eventually, I got out of the shower. Charlie was talking on the phone when I walked into the living room. Charlie hung up when he saw me and asked, "How are you doing?" "I feel better, I guess." I walked over to the sofa. "Who was that on the phone?" "I called Christina to tell her where I was and that it might be a while before I get home." "Please tell me you didn't tell her what happened." "No," Charlie shook his head. "I didn't think you'd want that." "I don't, Charlie. To be honest, I just want to forget all about it." Charlie handed me a cup of tea. "Drink this, it will help you to relax." I took the cup. "Thank you, Charlie. And thank you again." He smiled. "You don't have to thank me, Carla. I'm just glad I was there." I couldn't believe how kind Charlie was being to me. He wasn't looking for anything in return. I decided that I must thank him properly for coming to my rescue. I smiled back at him and said, "Look, I know it's probably a lot to ask, but could you stay tonight? I just wouldn't feel safe staying here alone tonight." Charlie thought for a moment. "Okay, sure. Christina said she was going to bed anyway. As long as I get home before she wakes up, it shouldn't be a problem." "Thank you so much, Charlie. I just don't want to be alone." Charlie sat beside me. "Given what happened, I can't really blame you for wanting company. You're an incredible guy, Charlie." I hugged him tightly. "Christina is so lucky to have you. I wish I could find a guy like you." "I'm sure you will, Carla. It just might take some time, that's all." "I know, but I'm sick of waiting for Mr. Right to come along," I said, pulling back from him. This was my chance, and I went for it, leaning back in and pressing my lips on his. I was delighted when he didn't pull away but returned my kiss with some passion. It felt so good to finally be kissing the guy I'd admired for so long. Charlie broke the kiss and looked into my eyes. "Carla, you've been through something tonight that no woman should have to go through. You may be in shock and I don't want you to do something now that you might later regret." I produced a throaty laugh. "Oh my, Charlie, in shock or not, you can trust me I won't regret this, not at all. I've wanted to kiss you since the first day we met. So, unless you don't want to." Charlie got the message. "It isn't that I don't want to, Carla. I just feel like I might be taking advantage of you, of the situation." "Oh no, Charlie." I shook my head. "I want this, and if you're worried about Christina finding out, don't be. I have as much to lose if she finds out as you do. So, stop resisting me on my birthday, give me the present I've always wanted from you." I kissed Charlie again and he responded. I murmured into his ear, "I can't believe this is finally happening. If I'd known you wanted this, it would have happened a lot sooner." I resumed kissing Charlie. Can you guess what happens next? When I woke, I was disappointed that Charlie had gone, but he'd left a note, had to get home before Christina wakes. I understood that, but I'd greedily hoped for a quickie before he went home. Charlie and I agreed that it would be a good idea to tell Christina that he'd rescued me from an assault and that I was in shock and nervous and he needed to keep an eye on me. I was truly surprised how well that story worked out. Christina would send Charlie to check on me 2 or 3 times a week. A couple of weeks into our affair, I discovered that Charlie was with Alice. I was shocked at first, but when I met their landlady, I saw why. I also didn't feel quite so guilty. Although Charlie was engaged to Christina, I felt sure he was cheating with a few women, not just myself and Alice. After a couple of months of Charlie with me, I met a great guy. To avoid anyone getting hurt or upset, Charlie suggested we should stop when I started dating my new man. I agreed because he was right. But I missed Charlie and I hoped that somewhere down the road maybe we would see again.